Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today because a couple things. And it has been raining nonstop for the last 2 days. Unbelievable. It literally in the last 15 minutes it stopped raining here. And there's so much to cover in the economy. Plus, today is my birthday, guys. So I want to thank everybody in advance for all the birthday wishes that you guys sent me, the cards, letters, everything you guys mailed. I appreciate each and every one of you, and thank you so much for everything. But there's all this stuff going wrong right now and in the wrong direction. I just thought I'd shoot a quick video for you and brought the umbrella just in case things go south again in the next few minutes. But please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But guys, with the economy right now, we just got news yesterday of our personal consumption expenditure. That is the PCE. This is what the government likes to use the most to gauge inflation. Now, the problem with this is they're trying to tell us that, hey, things aren't that bad. It's going up, guys. And inflation right now, yesterday we got news that it was at 4.7%. And I have people that write me that, Dan, I remember the 70s and we're in disinflation right now. And I want to explain a couple things to you. Let me explain disinflation. That means inflation is going down, okay? And people want to use this because it's hopes and they dream, and it's, inflation's less than it was last June, Dan. It's disinflation. Well, this is the equivalent of running, guys. Me running full speed at 8 miles an hour, and then I slow down a little bit, okay? Still moving forward, still running, still jogging. That's what inflation's doing right now, guys. It's still going up right now. And people don't want to look at that. So to sit there and talk about inflation at 4.7%, which is a lie, an absolute lie, just like the job numbers are an absolute lie. The world is laying off people right now, unlike we've seen in decades. But unemployment is the lowest level it's been ever. Come on, guys. Who's smoking what? Okay. We have more problems with layoffs on such a daily basis that you have more and more companies laying people off. National Public Radio, which you and I pay for, their ad revenue's down. Okay, well, learn to sell, guys. Okay, but the thing that you and I pay for, our tax dollars, they're laying off, hundreds of people right now. Huh? Okay, nobody's listening to National Public Radio. Okay, so another one, guys. The list just continues to grow. So housing contracts are dropping right now at such an extreme level of people canceling purchases of homes right now. Home sales. This is happening around the country, but you're seeing areas that were once booming, like Vegas, like San Jose, like San Diego, California, and all the inland cities. And here's the thing, it's like, from a guy that knows San Diego really well, there's all these different communities in San Diego. Carlsbad, Encinitas, Vista, La Mesa. You can go inland, you can go to El Cajon, you can go to Santee, all these different cities that are surrounding, San Diego, just like Los Angeles. You've got all the cities that surround Los Angeles. They're starting to take a huge hit down there, guys. And it's a huge, huge problem. And the realtors down there are not, are realizing that, and that's what's going to happen. It's only going to get worse right now, and these contracts are going to cancel. I had a conversation driving here with one of my subscribers that sat there and said, hey, listen, here's a real issue with the percentages going up for home mortgages. We got the Harbor Patrol over here. Let's walk over here for a second while these guys are docked. The problem with this, think about this. A year ago, 2 years ago, when things were booming and interest rates were at 3%, a $500,000 house, you'd have a nice house payment, afford it. Right now, for the people that could afford that $540,000 house, they can only afford a $350,000 house today with the interest rates going up as much as they have. Where do you find the $350,000 house? Well, they're not out there, Dan. Just not there right now. So that's the problem. And then you look at areas like this in Southern California where you've got $1 million properties and insanity where you got a shack here on the water that's $4 million. And again, lunacy, and it's crazy and stuff like that. But it just gets to the point, guys, that the average person cannot afford these houses. The builders right now are doing buy downs. 3-2-1 is the most popular, where for the first 3 years you get a lower interest rate for 3 years, and then after the third year it kicks into a different interest rate. The fourth year, and then year 5 it goes even higher. Okay, this is very interesting that this is happening, but the problem with it is that as people live in these houses, nobody sits there and says, what's my interest rate going to be on year 6, year 7? Oh gosh. Well, I bought a house in the 80s and had a loan like this because I was young and stupid. And the problem with that is the interest rates shot up in such a way that I'll never forget opening up the mortgage statement, and then the payment shot up $900 one month. That was a problem. It's a real problem. Okay? Nobody wants to admit this. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is, with my birthday, constantly reminded of where I'm at and how lucky I am. And I am so grateful to each and every one of you. I get to live my dream by doing this, guys. And when I was younger, when my kids were very young, I wanted to be a screenwriter desperately. And I taught myself that. Taught myself how to write, went to film school, different classes, and, wrote scripts, had people read them. They told me they sucked. They told me what I needed to do to improve. And as a storyteller, I did everything I could to do that, to where I finally started to sell scripts and option scripts and make money doing that. And it was the greatest day of my life. The greatest day was when I got to be on a film set for something I had written, a Jeff Bridges movie called Scenes of the Crime that none of you have ever heard of. And they paid me, and it was just fantastic. Okay? But the problem with the industry was that it was not consistent. And my kids, being the chirping birds that needed to eat every day, made it so that I needed to work and do other things. So I did that, and I'll get to my dream someday, and I'll get to do it. The advantage to doing this and being on YouTube and the success of this is that, I have an agent and I have a team that does things for me. Now, I have all these opportunities, guys, that I didn't have a year ago, didn't have 2 years ago, didn't have 5 years ago, that I never thought I'd get to do again. And having lunch, this last week with my agent was awesome. It was just, what's next? What do you want to do? And guys, there's going to be books. There's going to be reality TV. There's going to be, shooting a pilot for a talk show. All this cool stuff that I get to do. And it's only because of you guys watching these videos. And I am so grateful for that. I really am. And, I'm always dishing out advice to my friends, to clients, to everybody, family members, everybody. But where would I be if I didn't take my own advice and jump on the opportunities that I have and take those risks? The risks of failure, the risks of success, the risks of doing things I've always wanted to do. People don't do that. This world is not easy. Nothing is easy. I know this woman who's very beautiful, okay? And she's continually dates the wrong men and continually has, challenges in her life and can't figure out what's wrong with that. And go back a few years. For those of you that don't know, my girlfriend of 12 years passed away on Christmas Eve after, complications from breast cancer. And she never liked the term battling breast cancer or a cancer journey. For those of you that are new, the point was, she was a lawyer, and, battles can be negotiated. A journey, you can take an Uber to cut a journey short if you want. So it was nothing she ever wanted. It was a mugging as far as we were concerned. But that being said, about 10 years ago, I was having some difficulty in business and relationships and clients and problems and things that just kept going south, that that just, man, why is this happening? Why? And she said something to me that absolutely infuriated me at the time. And that was, why don't you look at everything going wrong, that there's a common denominator, and it's you. You're the common denominator in your life. And number one, I was furious and I was totally insulted by that. But that's the truth. The problem with it is, look at this. Look at what's going on in your life right now and see what you can do for yourself. Because I'm telling you, you can be the victim and woe is me and everything's bad, or you can fix that and you can do something about that. So the common denominator is you in everything. There is a comic that I like a lot. His name is Colin Kane, Kane with a K. And he's a raunch comic. Comes from like the Andrew Dice Clay genre. Whether you like that or not is irrelevant. But what Mr. Kane said about 7-8 years ago that I started following was, hey, what kind of person are you? Are you a good person? Are you happy with yourself? Are you good with yourself to where you can be with other people? That really stuck with me. It stuck with me because, wait a second, what kind of businessman am I? Am I a person that should be giving advice to people if I'm not, in tune with myself? So I worked on that. I worked on that extensively to where, I am constantly learning. Like I tell everybody, I'm a student of marketing. Great. I'm a student of life. I'm a student of relationships. But it goes back to what my former girlfriend said. And again, I don't even know what the right term is. When someone dies in your life, your old girlfriend, my former girlfriend, I don't want it to sound like, we broke up, because it wasn't anything like that. She's just not in my life anymore because she passed away. But what are you going to do, guys? People go through life miserable. People go through business miserable. But think about this. With your business, are you a good boss? Are you a good employee? Do you bitch and moan and piss and complain about everything that you do to let everybody know how upset you are and how your life is not where you want it to be? Where you want it to be. Remember that. Not where the people you work with want it to be, but where you want it to be. I'm amazed when I talk to business owners and, hey, I show up when I want because I'm in charge. Well, that's a great example. Do you show up, unshaven and hungover because you're the boss? Okay, well, you're a loser. Okay, set an example. Be a leader. Be a winner in everything that you do. We are going through something that is so dark in this economy right now that people just don't realize how bad this is going to get. And if you are wide awake to that, if you are, your eyes are open to this, you're going to be 10 times better off. But be a better person during this time. Work on it. Work on yourself. My friend, the woman I was talking to that started this story, once again, it's, relationship after relationship after relationship with broken men. And again, fix yourself. Be happy with yourself. You don't have to have anybody in your life. Are you the person that these other good people would want to be with? Work on that. Be the best employee you can. Be the best worker you can. Be the best spouse you can. I don't care how old you are. I'm too old to change my ways, Dan. I'm a pain in the ass. Okay. Well, Mildred thinks you should do something about it. Be nice to everybody. Be kind. Be appreciative. For those of you out there that can't meet people, again, there are meetup groups. What are your interests? This is it's so simple. It is. From a guy that had events, and I wish I could do more events, guys, because I was really good at it. And you'd fill a room with hundreds of people, and they would smile and laugh and have drinks and food, and everybody have a good time. But what kind of person are you? What do you want to do? What interests you? Look at even meetup.com. Go there and look at the different groups that are out there. They're there. Okay? And I guarantee if you collect stamps, you like movies, there's people that want to do that stuff. If you're a runner, I signed up for some of these running groups at one point. Oh my God, I got just inundated with emails and invitations to go running and hiking and all this other stuff that's out there. Work on that, guys. Okay? This is an exciting time. It's an exciting time for me. It's an exciting time for my family, my kids, everybody. There's all these opportunities. And I've worked hard on that. I'm constantly working on it. But surround yourself with people that are good people, honest people that want to be with you, that want to cheer your success. My former girlfriend's parents both passed away, but were the two best people I've ever met because of a couple things. They were not wealthy people, they were just good people. And our political, were we politically aligned? Not at all. We're complete polar opposite. But these people were so in touch to enjoying the moment that I've never, it's totally changed my life because look at this, guys. It's a beautiful place. Okay? Think about this. I get to do this for a job, guys. Okay? It's fantastic. All my business experience gets to play into this. All the news, all the nonsense, all the bullshit that we read in the newspapers that are not true. Come on, guys. Okay? You got a guy with, 35 years of business experience getting to decipher this for you. It's awesome. And I love doing it. But these people, man, I'm telling you, they could have joy from a meal. They could have joy from music because he was a concert pianist and my girlfriend was a stand-up bass player. They could have joy from just your presence. They would celebrate your victories. They would just console you in your defeats. But it was such a great place to be because they just were there for you. And again, be around the people that care about you. Be around the people that want to see you succeed. That's what you need in your life right now. Okay? It's really weird. People get freaked out on their birthdays. I love my birthday. I do. Everybody comes out of the woodwork. Okay? It's nice. Okay? It really is. And again, I appreciate everybody else. Wow, look at the guys. Oh, look at the flooding. Okay. Hi. My shack was $4 million and I can't leave my home right now. That's awesome. Oh. Last time I was here, there was a guy in a rowboat going through this stuff. Okay, so anyways, there's more news to cover, guys. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Let's face it, guys. The news about inflation is not good. Every day there's a new layoff announced from a big company. Even worse, you need to protect yourself and protect your retirement and your future by getting an IRA or 401k that's backed by physical metals from the good people at Patriot Gold. Call them today, guys. 888-330-1431, and they will give you a free investor guide. They will answer all your questions, but you need to look at what central banks are doing. Central banks are buying more physical gold than they have in the last 80 years right now. What do they know that we don't know? Well, something's happening. Yes, there's a storm out there. Yes, things are bad. It's only going to get worse, guys. You need to protect yourself and your family and your future. Take control of this by calling Patriot Gold today. Get an IRA or 401k that's backed by physical metals. Once again, let them know that I allegedly sent you, but call 888-330-1431 today and get information on this. If you already have an IRA or 401k, you can transfer it over without any tax liability, and they will show you how to do that. Contact them today. They're the best in-class service for over 6 years in a row. Call them, 888-330-1431 today, and get some information on your 401k or IRA that's backed by physical metals from the good people at Patriot Gold. Do you have a guilty pleasure when it comes to fast food that you see one, oh man, I just gotta have that? Okay, I have one that I don't get to try very often, but I love, and that is White Castle. Oh man, I'm talking fried fatty goodness, guys. It is just delicious, and it is just decadent, and it is just over the top. The White Castle Corporation has a huge problem on their hands. Huge. I mean, talking massive, unbelievable. They had this thing where employees, when they would do shift changes, when somebody new would come to a register, they used biometrics, where they would use the fingerprint to change over, like, okay, Joan's here, John's here, and it's, it's a good system. Only problem with it is that they did it in states that they had to get employee consent and have a form for. And there are so many violations of this. I want you to think about this. The violations and the fines right now could total $17 billion. $17 billion. So that would be the end of White Castle, to say the least. It would be definitely bankruptcy time if they don't get this fixed. But the employees and a good employment lawyer stepped forward and said, wait a second, they violated their rights by doing this stuff. Yes, they did. And it's awful that they did this. But man, oh man, oh man. And again, I am always amazed from sitting down with lawyers and talking about employment law and what people are asked to do and what they shouldn't be doing. And, you know, everything from overtime, or, hey, we're having an early meeting today, and, hey, you're a full-time employee who gets paid salary, you're not supposed to get a, overtime. No, it doesn't matter, guys. There's certain laws that you need to look at. And once again, when people get spiteful and they get pissed off, that's when they go to these lawyers and say, what can I do? Give me an idea. Well, sit down now. But if you're an employer and you are concerned about this stuff, you need to fix this stuff and look at this. But the biometrics, that's a problem, guys. And you're going to see more and more of this stuff. I didn't know. So why can you find me? It doesn't work that way. You don't get to ask for forgiveness when it comes to employment law, pardon me. The next thing is, remember, the economy is great. Everything is fantastic. General Motors, the world's largest auto builder, is going to close down building trucks in Indiana. Okay? Why? Because there's too many trucks and no demand. So they're going to take a 2-week period off. And of course, the United Auto Workers are flipping out because they don't have, this isn't right. It isn't fair. These people are entitled to work, all that stuff. But the problem with it is that they're not selling the product. And you know what's going to happen is you're going to see other automakers go out of business. This is not the only one that's having soft demand. So it's a problem, guys. These are public decks right here. You've got the Catalina Flyer across the way, talking to people, loading up. But what's next, guys? What is next when it comes to the economy and stuff like this? Real estate is still crazy in certain areas of the country. In the Hamptons, which, guys, I don't understand the fascination. I'm not an East Coast country club guy. I understand this beach right here and what's here in Southern California. That interests me a lot. The Hamptons. There is basically a mobile home that is under contract right now. And if it closes escrow, it will be the most expensive trailer ever sold on record at $3.75 million. $3.75 million. It is a whopping 800 feet. And it is basically, 2 single wide trailers put together. And the previous record for these things was 1.75 million. And again, some desperate live in the Hamptons. We're going to build our dream home next to the other trailer parks. Now, understand this. This is the trailer park section of the Hamptons. So you could build a $50 million house there. You can do that. But you know who's going to be your neighbor? Marge in the trailer. Okay? Lovely lady. But that's what you've got to look forward to. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. And White Castle, what is it? Is it In-N-Out? Is it White Castle? And again, people just flip out when I say that, but it's delicious at times, okay? It really is. I'm going to finish this video before it starts raining again. And just a few stories, okay? I'm on the auto ferry. Auto ferry's coming up. You can walk on the ferry, okay, which is nice, okay, if you want. But just wanted to show you this. And then on a sunny day, they will line up and you'll have blocks of traffic. And today there's nobody here because it's raining. But I love crypto gangsters. And what I mean by that is there is a city in Massachusetts that couldn't figure out why one school had outrageous electric bills, just outrageous. And every month it was climbing. And what happened was a teacher went into the crawl space of the school and tapped the electricity. And Nadim Nassas, he has an arrest warrant issued for him right now. And Mr. Nahas, this guy used $18,000 worth of electricity to mine Bitcoin, which is ingenious. It's just great. But it's incredibly expensive to mine Bitcoin. And this guy used the school's electricity to do that. So it's absolutely fascinating. There's a couple stories about that below. The next thing is the IRS. They just announced that if you were the victim of a natural disaster or in a natural disaster area, that you could file your taxes later this year. Instead of in April, you can go to October 16th, 2023. Make sure that you're in one of those areas. And it's California, Alabama, and Georgia were the victims of this stuff so far. Flooding, fires, fun stuff like that. People's personal saving rates. Think about this, guys. Normally people save, about 6 to 8% on their savings rate. During the pandemic, it went as high as 25% that people socked away every month. In December, it dropped to 2.3%. 2.3%, guys, lowest rate ever. And now in January, they say it's lower than that because people are going upside down and borrowing, just to get by. So again, the greatest economy ever, and you need to borrow to go to White Castle. So it's horrible. Okay, and White Castle's cheap too. The final thing is there's what I thought was an entertaining story out of the New York Post talking about how people that worked at Google, how they found out that they had lost their jobs. And you've heard the people cry about the emails that they got, which was interesting. But some people, didn't realize it until they started to send emails the next day, and the emails were kicking. Hey, my server's not working. Well, Ted, you don't work here anymore. Okay, and there were 12,000 people let go from Google, guys. 12,000. Isn't that just such a staggering number when you hear about it? 12,000 people lost their jobs at Google. But, cell phones that wouldn't, hey, my phone's off. Hey, my portable Wi-Fi is off. Yeah, we disconnected it because you're no longer with the company. So all these entertaining stories about how these people found out that they lost their jobs. But once again, all the benefits and everything that these guys have is what people are complaining about the most, not the opportunity as far as the perks that they had. So it's going to be interesting when this stuff comes out and these people have to go out and get regular jobs again, because the masseuse at the new place is not going to be the same as the one at Google. Okay? Please don't forget to hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening to my little rant this morning, and be the best person you can be. Okay? I am a flawed individual, to say the least, and I am constantly working on myself to be better for everybody around me, my clients, my kids, myself, everybody. Okay? Be what you can be, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, Onward and Upward. Thank you again for all the birthday wishes. You guys are very kind. The gifts, the cards, everything you sent out to me, I truly appreciate it. And we will have a party soon. We will get together. And the consensus was spring. Let's do something when it's warm again, and we can have some fun. Okay? I'll see you guys soon.